All right, we're going to go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order, and we'll take a vote to adopt the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Clayton. Second by Ms. Collette. Any discussion or changes on tonight's agenda? Raise your hand. To executive session, and no votes will be taken other than the minutes from August 4th, and we'll discuss personnel, safety, land, and legal. Do I hear a motion for that?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Clayton. Second by Ms. Collette. All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously, and we will be adjourned, and we will return around 6:30. welcome to the board meeting tonight. We're so glad you're here. We're going to go ahead and call the regular board meeting to order. We've been in executive session where no votes were taken other than the minutes from August the 4th. And at this time, I'm going to call on Mr. Stan Pittman from Tabernacle Baptist Church. He's the member care and missions pastor. If you'll come to the podium and lead us in our invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and by the Hiram High School JROTC. If you would, please stand.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity of prayer. The Bible tells us that we can come to you in time of need. In the days in which we live, we need you. And so, Lord, I pray that as you bless this group that's here today with all the decisions that they need to make, all the things that need to go on in this meeting tonight, I pray in Jesus' name that your name would be lifted up. So, Lord, give us what we need tonight. And I will thank you and praise you for what you do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Forward, march. Column left, march. Column right, march. Column right, march. Mark time, march. Color guard, hold. Left face, present, arms. Sir, permission to post the colors. Commissioner Graham. Post. Post. Present, arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. About base.
Thank you. Everybody be seated. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask Colonel Carpenter, the commander for the Hiram High School, JROTC, to come up and introduce the cadets and tell us a little bit about each one of them. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Colonel Carpenter, Senior Army Instructor at Hiram High School, Junior ROTC. Thank you again for the opportunity to highlight 4 of my superior cadets. We're going to go from left to right. So Cadet Bungwell, she's a junior. She plans to go to college and major in nursing. Cadet Wiggins, he's a junior. He wants to go to Georgia Tech and major in biotechnology with a minor in psychology. Cadet Stevens, he's a senior. He plans to join the Army and he wants to pursue the Special Forces route in the Army. And Cadet McKenzie, she's a junior. She's still deciding between the Army and the Marines. I don't know why the Marines is on the list, but she's still deciding between the Army and the Marines. And so on behalf of our principal, Dr. Sublett, again, we thank you for this opportunity, and we'll see y'all next semester.
All right, at this time, we're going to take care of one item of business, and that's to approve the minutes from August the 4th. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Clayton, second by Ms. Lyons. Any discussion? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously, and at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Barnett for our superintendent report and recognitions.
Well, good evening, everyone. Glad to see all the smiling faces out there. I think you're back on the floor here, Mr. Musgrove. I think you're going to help us kick this off, right? But Tonight, we want to introduce the board. I know these are familiar faces to you, but we have 8 new principals to introduce to the board tonight. For you math whizzes, that's like 20% of our principals.
Right.
We have one newish principal. I'll let you guess who that is.
Yeah.
He's nodding his head right now. And then, of course, a new director of the New Hope Education Center. So we want to introduce these guys to you.
Well, first of all, I just want to tell everybody thank you. And like Mr. Barnett said, we've got a lot of new principals, experienced, a lot of them have a lot of years, but, we had a lot of retirements last year, and so we filled those shoes. So what I want to do is introduce some new faces also at our district office level. But I'm going to start with, we call him the old man of the group here, at the senior, at our level, is Dr. Chafee, Executive Director of our elementary schools. But we've done we've done a little bit of a switch. He supervises 10 of our our elementary schools, but 10 of them below 278, the South schools. So he's going to come up and he's going to introduce his new principals at this time. Dr. Chafee?
I don't feel that old. I guess I have been doing this for a little bit, haven't I? Thank you, Board Mr. Barnett, for the opportunity to celebrate some elementary schools today, and I specifically want to focus on some excellent leaders we have in our district right now. And guys, as I call you out, you're going to do your favorite thing, which is stand up, and then they have a quick quiz. And Alicia, I'm just kidding. So Dr. Alicia Jones, first of all, earned the Nebo principalship after serving as assistant principal at Nebo for the past 3 years. Her school leadership experience is preceded by several years in the Paulding County School District as a teacher and instructional coach. Alicia recently became Dr. Jones after earning her doctorate from the University of West Georgia in school improvement. Her passion is building strong, positive relationships with students and her staff to deliver high-quality educational experiences to all Nebo students. Dr. Jones is cheered on in her work by her husband, Corey, of 19 years, and her 2 sons. So congratulations, Alicia. He's not new. Dr. Alan Dawes. Super thankful for Dr. Dawes. He arrived at Allgood mid-year last school year to serve as interim principal. And prior to the end of the last school year, and due in large part to his hard work and commitment, Dr. Jones lost the interim tag, and he really never looked back. He is honored to be in his 21st year with the Paulding County School District and proud to serve the students and staff and families of Allgood Elementary School. He has served our PCSD students as a teacher, assistant principal, athletic director, scheduler at East Paulding High School, and a district leader. Education is his passion and is shared by his entire family, his wife Miranda, who is a longtime preschool teacher, and their children, Grant and Haley, are proud Paulding County students. So congratulations, Dr. Dawes. Miss Cook, Kelly Cook, stand on up. She had the summer surprise this summer when the new Georgia principalship became available, and she stepped right into that role. So she is beginning her 27th year as a proud member of our district. She served for 20 years as a classroom teacher at Northside Elementary before spending 4 years as a Title I instructional lead coach at both McGarrity and PB Rich Middle Schools. She is honored and excited to continue serving the New Georgia community as principal and looks forward to working alongside students, family, staff, and community partners to create an environment that engages, inspires, and prepares every student for a successful future. Thank you, Ms. Cook. And last but not least, he's definitely not new to me or our district, but we're happy to have stolen Mr. Tony Ford back from APS. Mr. Ford, he is our newest principal at Dugan Elementary School, and like I said, he is no stranger to us as he spent a good deal of his educational career as a teacher and assistant principal in our district. After serving for 8 years as principal, 8 years, it really went by fast, as principal for Atlantic Public Schools, Mr. Ford came home with a wealth of experience and support to bring to the Dugan community. He has a wonderful wife, Fabiola, and 3 children, Faith, Trevor, and Gloria, who are now adults. I added that because they were children when I met them, who cheer him on. So we are very happy to have Mr. Ford back with us. That is the South Side representing. I would like to introduce Dr. Joy Vinus, Executive Director for the schools on the North Side.
Just real fast, most of y'all know Dr. Vinus. She's been here at the district office for a while, serving as Director of Elementary Schools, but this year we moved into the Executive Director of Elementary Schools, but serving our northern schools, 10 of our northern elementary schools. We'll let Dr. Vinus come up and introduce her new principals.
It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tracy Sellers. Tracy is the principal at C.A. Roberts Elementary. She has served the students, families, and staff of the Paulding County School District for 22 years. She began her career with our district as a science teacher in 2005 and has served in a variety of roles, including evaluation and assessment coordinator, assistant principal, and district curriculum coordinator for science and health and physical education. Tracy holds a doctorate in education and is passionate about instructional leadership, STEM education, and building a strong school culture where students and staff are empowered to succeed. Her personal experience as a wife, mother, and educator also have shaped her leadership. Dr. Sellers and her husband Ian, who is also an educator in our district, have raised 2 children, Ansley and Finnegan, who have also thrived within the Paulding County School District. Their experience have reinforced Tracy's belief in the powerful impact our schools can have on students and families in our community. Dr. Tracy Sellers.
Next, we're going to bring up our Executive Director of Middle Schools. Now, familiar face for you guys. You've seen him around a long time, but he moved into this position this summer. Some of y'all, we have to get a stool for him so you guys can see him past the podium here. But Mr. James Neal here. I'll let him introduce his new middle school principals.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And my voice is even bigger up here. All right, so introducing my fantastic three principals. We've got Dr. Chris Davies. He is the new principal at Moses Middle School. And many of you may already know that Dr. Davies has spent the last 27 years of his career here in Paulding County. Most recently, he has served the last 14 years as assistant principal at North Paulding High School. An interesting fact about Dr. Davies is that in 2001, he helped open Moses Middle School as a keyboarding teacher, and now he's returned as the school's principal. I would also like to recognize that Dr. Chris Davies is also married to Dr. Cynthia Davies, who is our district's Executive Director of Talent Development. Welcome to the new position, and we're excited to see all your great success, sir. Next up, Dr. Anesta Jones. She is the new principal at Austin Middle School. Dr. Jones is a second career educator who has served 22 years in Paulding County. An interesting fact is that Dr. Jones started as a TAP teacher. In her time serving the students of Paulding County, she served as the EAC at PB Rich for 2 years and the assistant principal at East Paulding Middle School for 6 years. When it comes to hobbies and interests, Dr. Jones enjoys reading and tinkering with different projects at home. And Dr. Jones, welcome to your new position. I'm sure you're going to do fantastic. Next up, Dr. Vladimir Labossiere. And if I butchered his name, I'm sorry because I love the guy. All right, so he's no stranger to us as well, as he is also a career educator, has faithfully served for the last 26 years. 19 of those years have been served here in Paulding County. Prior to being the principal at South Paulding Middle School, Dr. Labossiere was the director at New Hope Education for 13 years. During that time, he also served as assistant principal and also the scheduler at Hiram High School for 5 years. Just a few of the different accolades for Dr. Labossiere. He opened New Hope Education Center in 2013 and developed the Phoenix Alternative Center. He worked with Alphas, which is the dropout prevention, Paulding Virtual Academy, the PCCA. He worked with a hospital homebound, and then he did a senior summer school. And a lot of these things, he was kind of boots on the ground that got it up and going. An interesting fact or hobby about Dr. Labossiere is that he loves motorcycling. All right, I would also like to recognize his wife is also a district employee and has worked faithfully here in the district as well. She works at Roberts Elementary. So Dr. Labossiere, welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you. Lastly, I'd like to bring up another familiar face, but in a new position, again, our Executive Director of High Schools, Mr. Darius Hodge. Again, you know, Dr. Chafee and I had to get together and try to find some height in this group here, so we brought these 2 guys in. Mr. Hodge is going to introduce his new principal.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Barnett, school board members, thank you for allowing us to introduce our new principals at the secondary high school level. I'd like to first start off by introducing Dr. Barbara Crutchfield. She is our new director of education of New Hope Education Center. She has 25 years of experience in Paulding County schools, including being a math teacher, where I once subbed when I was going through undergrad for her classroom. Math teacher at Hiram High School, assistant principal at Hiram High School, South Paulding High, and Scoggins Middle. She's now our new she was recently the assistant director for the New Hope Education Center. She recently received her doctoral degree in mathematics curriculum. Did I say that right? So we want to congratulate her for getting that doctorate degree. So now she can obviously buy me lunch whenever I need it. So looking forward to that. Dr. Crutchfield, thank you. The next person, Dr. Leroy Sublett. Dr. Leroy Sublett is the proud principal of Hiram High School with more than 31 years of experience in education. He has served as a teacher and department chair, counselor, special education counselor, assistant principal, and principal. Throughout his career, he has been dedicated to supporting student achievement, fostering positive school culture, and developing strong partnerships with families and the community. Dr. Sublett's educational journey reflects his deep commitment to serving the community that he's helped shape. Prior to him becoming principal of Hiram High School, he served in several leadership roles within Paulding County School District and other school districts in Georgia and Texas, including assistant principal and special education administrator, where he supported both general education and special education programs. Dr. Sublett is supported by his wife, Dr. Sean Sublett, and his educator, as well as their daughter, Haley Sublett, a graduate of Georgia State University, my alma mater. Together, they value their education, service, and making a positive impact on the lives of others. Dr. Sublett believes in the power of collaboration and leads with philosophy of team. Together, everyone achieves more. He is committed to ensuring that every student is engaged, inspired, and prepared for the success while promoting Hiram High School's vision of no ceilings. So, Dr. Sublett, thank you guys very much.
I think we're going to take just a couple of minutes and grab some pictures if anyone wants to come out front.
You can have everybody fill in the curve of the dais there. That'd be great. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Thank you.
Well, I know I say this every time, and Greg, you've got a couple things I know you're going to wrap up. I know I say I'm going to get accused of saying this every time. This is a stellar group of new principals. It's an impressive cohort, and we're tickled to have you all. Thank you for helping a successful start to another school year. I think Greg's going to come back up and share a little bit about the start of the school year, and then I'll kind of wrap us up. But
I just take just a second. Just want to tell thank you to everybody. You know, when you're looking at starting a school year or starting a school system with almost 30,000 students, it takes a combined effort, right? It takes a transportation department, a nutrition department, a human resources department, a technology. Everybody's got to come together. And you think about how many stops you have at a bus and how many kids need to be seen in the nurse's office. It takes school teams, the schedules. It is a tremendous task. And, you know, we don't always get it right every single time. You know, I don't know if that's achievable, but we get it right most of the time. And I just wanted to take just a second and say how proud I am of all the schools, all the departments, from human resources to transportation to nutrition to technology to the schools, right? The hard work that teachers put in to welcome these kids and welcome these families. It's just it's a task. And, you know, I was asking Ms. Somerville, you know, I said, well, on average, how many miles do you guys drive a day? And I'm going to tell you the numbers she said. I still don't believe it. It's a hard time wrapping my mind. 23,000. And I said, hold on, 23,000. And you think about, like, we're getting kids safely to school. We're driving that many miles. We're seeing this many kids in our clinics every day. We're serving this many lunches. We're meeting these kids' needs. That is a tremendous task, and we're doing it for almost 30,000 kids. And again, we don't get it right every single time, but we get it right most of the time. And I just wanted to come up and just take just a second and say how proud I am to be a part of the district. And thank you to the families for their partnership and patience as we start a school year. Again, you know, not every bus stops at every place that it needs to every time, and we know that, you know, but again, we're getting it right, and we get it right most of the time. And so parents and families, thank you for your patience and your partnership. But again, just thank you to everybody for a great start to the school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Yeah, I was going to kind of say the same thing, that opening our schools is truly a team effort. And so we're grateful for you guys, grateful for the dedication of our employees who worked throughout the summer and even in the recent weeks to prepare our classrooms, our buses, our cafeterias, our campuses for students. And we've certainly hit the ground running this school year. And we did not plan this, but I had sort of the same thoughts that Greg did. So our maintenance team, as they prepared for this school year, and with the help of the local school staff, worked to ready around 5 million square feet of facilities for the start of the school year. So yeah, we don't get it right every time, but when you've got 5 million square feet to get ready for a school year, it's an impressive number. And in just the first 2 weeks of school, we've served 35,000 meals, on our way to 4.5 million by the end of the school year. Our bus drivers have already traveled in 2 weeks more than 300,000 miles. And our school nurses have likely already seen 15,000 students in just the first 2 weeks. So again, just thankful for everyone's efforts in opening the school year and getting us off to a great start. So, and again, super proud of this group. It's a great cohort. We're tickled to have you, and so yeah, best wishes for a great school year. So yeah. So with that, I'm going to move on and talk a little bit about sports. Fall athletics is now underway, or will soon be, across the county, including football, flag football, volleyball, softball, cross country, competition cheer, esports. Maybe I didn't miss one, along with other activities that are related, like marching band. But speaking of football, earlier today, the Paulding County Rotary Club hosted its annual pigskin preview. And I just want to take a minute to say that we appreciate the Rotary Club's continued partnership and support of our schools, their athletic programs, and our student athletes. Of course, the football season officially kicks off this Friday with some great in-county rivalries. North will be hosting East Paulding. South Paulding High School will host Paulding County. And I think Hiram will be hosting the City of Carswell. So great games this Friday. Encourage folks to come out. And we do wish all of our teams success for an exciting and safe season. And so look forward to celebrating their accomplishments. And then the other item I had in the report, Mr. Chairman, is our next meeting will be the board work session on Tuesday, September the 8th, starting at 8:30 a.m. here at the district offices. And with your permission, I will move on to the next section here. We have two presentations we want to make this evening. The first is our quarterly financial report, and for that I'm going to ask Anna Durham, our Chief Financial Officer, to come up, and she's going to hit a few of the highlights. But again, this is like they say, must-see TV. This is must-read information. This is especially this one, because this wraps up last fiscal year, and so it's you guys. It's a lot of work to put this together, I know. So thank you for doing that. She's going to highlight a couple things from the report.
Yeah. Good evening. I'd like to go over a few highlights from our fourth quarterly financial report for fiscal year 26. This report is attached to today's agenda and is also available on our website. Thank you. All right, first I'd like to thank Courtney Carter, who's an 11th grader at North Paulding High School, for the artwork on the cover of our report. Her artwork will also appear on the cover of our fiscal year 26 audited financial statements. The quarterly report is built around our major governmental funds, which include the general fund, our special revenue, capital project, and debt service funds. And then first, I'd like to touch on a few highlights from our general fund, which is the district's primary operating fund. With 100% of the budget year elapsed, you'll see in revenue we have a 0.8% variance to budget, which is slightly lower than prior year's 1.2% and the three-year average of 1.3%. In expenditures, we have a 1.2% variance to budget compared to 0.9% in prior year. and the 3-year average of 1.3%. Right, and for fund balance, we currently have enough to cover 1.7 months of expenditures, which is in line with prior year. Looking at our special revenue fund, it accounts for resources that are legally restricted for specific purposes. Grants in the school nutrition program account for most of the activity in this fund. For grants, we have 34 grant awards over $10,000, totaling $57.3 million for fiscal year '26, which compared to a prior year of $64.8 million. And this decrease in current year is related to the reduction in equalization and then us no longer receiving those L4GA funds. And then we also, in our report, we report on the local school activity within the special revenue section, and that starts on page 8 of the quarterly report. Looking at capital projects fund, which starts on page 14, it accounts for financial resources including SPHS funds, bond proceeds, and capital project-related state reimbursements. Our SPHS 6 collections ended in September with collections of $135.6 million, and then at the bottom of this slide are the project SPHS 6 Help Fund. For SPHS 7, collections began in October with year-to-date collections of $22.8 million. And then again, at the bottom of this slide are the projects SPHS 7 will help fund. Our debt service fund accounts for our general long-term principal and interest payments. We have 3 bonds with outstanding principal payments of $119.2 million at year end. And in addition to the fund reports we just went over, the quarterly report also includes numerous supplemental reports that include information on position control, which ensures that we do not overhire throughout the year, vacancies, current enrollment, and encumbrances. And then it also includes points of information on purchasing, budget adjustments, grants and donations, and then asset disposals, which are attached to today's agenda as a point of information. And then this evening, I only touched on a few highlights from our quarterly report. So I'd like to encourage everyone to go out there and pull the full report and really look at it. And again, that's attached to today's agenda and is also available on our website.
So Anna, now that you've crossed this, the finish line here for the fiscal year, what's the schedule for the audit?
So for the audit right now, we're finishing closing up fiscal year '26 with year-end closeout entries. We'll start prepping for the financial statements that we will submit by November 15th to the Department of Audits. Then starting between December and February, the auditors will come in, perform their work, and then they will release their audit report by the end of March.
March, great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to resist the temptation to say anything about number 20, with no,
Yes.
I'm just not going to say it. I don't want to jinx it.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
yes, thank you.
Great job. We recently received results from the Georgia Milestones assessments, which of course measures how well our students have mastered the state-adopted academic standards. And our students and staff have a lot to be proud of. In fact, we published a press release on August the 10th sharing those results, but tonight I have asked Tiffany Frazier, our Associate Superintendent over Teaching and Learning. I think she's going to phone a friend and get some help from Myers Moreland, our Executive Director of Teaching and Learning. I wanted them to share a little bit more context on those results tonight for the board and for the community. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having us. I'm going to make Myers Moreland come stand awkwardly with me so that I can pass it off to her in just a second. If you have not met Myers Moreland before, she was previously the principal at Shelton Elementary and has just been a huge asset to us as we have built out our team in teaching and learning. So what we want to share with you tonight around milestones, of course, we always go back to our strategic plan. So these results are a direct output from Growth and Success for All and Advanced and Innovative Practices, both of which we focused on math, science, and STEM instruction and resources. So you'll get to see some of the fruits of your focus as we move through. So in 2024, the state adopted new math standards and assessments. So the majority of the data that you'll see in this presentation is from 2024 to 2026. Moving into that school year, we met with the superintendent's teacher advisory and asked them if they wanted a year to learn the new math standards and then adopt additional curriculum, or if they wanted to just do it all at one time. And they said, throw all the changes at us at once, we will handle it, it will be great. It's been a huge lift, but that's exactly what we did. We adopted new mathematics standards and resources that are aligned from kindergarten to 10th grade. So they're learning math the same way in elementary, middle school, and high school, which we believe has contributed to some of this work. It's been a heavy lift, but the results speak for themselves. 79% of Paulding students scored levels 2, 3, and 4, which is our highest performance on the new math assessments, and of course above the state averages. This is the same data broken down by grade levels. So across all of our tested grade levels, Paulding County students perform at or above their Georgia peers for mathematics. This breaks it down further into specific grade levels so that you can see our progress against ourselves over time. So the way these charts read, 2024 is on the bottom, moving up to 2026. And we want to see a regression of the red, which is level 1, which is our students that have not, are not prepared to move on to the next grade level. And we want to see those greens and blue increase because the students in the yellow still require additional support to be successful in the coming school year. So on the top left, elementary school has seen a 5% increase in proficient or distinguished, moving from 42% to 47% in 3 years. And there was also a 3% reduction of level 1s in elementary school math. Top right, middle school has increased by 3%, moving from 40 to 43% proficient or advanced. And then the bottom graph represents our middle school students who are taking high school algebra. They had their best performance to date with 94% scoring proficient or advanced, which is a 12% increase in 2 years. What's most impressive here is that the increase in students scoring level 4, which is distinguished, which moved from 41% 2 years ago to 64% of those students in 2026. Kudos to our middle school algebra teachers for that hard work. Outstanding. Equally outstanding is our high school algebra improvement. This graph goes back 4 years to 2023 because I wanted you to see that before we adopted our new materials, only 16% of students taking algebra in high school on the block schedule were proficient by the end of the semester. 16% were proficient or distinguished. We reached a district high performance for high school algebra with 46% of students scoring proficient or advanced in 2026, which is a 30% increase in 4 years. And again, that is directly tied to our strategic plan. Passing algebra on time in the first try is a huge lever for on-time graduation. And so we put a lot of resources into that. Superintendent Barnett has allowed us to have an additional mathematics teacher so that we can offer year-long algebra in high school, and we do offer those at a select rate based on their scores coming out of middle school. Each of the high schools offer that. We've seen a 20% reduction in beginning learners who would have had to repeat algebra again, putting them off track, or would have gone woefully unprepared into advanced algebra. So we're excited about that. That contributes not only to growth and success for all, but also for college and career readiness. Okay, now I'm going to pass the mic to Ms. Moreland.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to move into social studies. You'll see similar charts to those that Dr. Frazier presented to you. Paulding continues to outperform the state in both areas where we have Milestones assessments. You can see 8th grade Georgia Studies scores as well as U.S. history in high school. In 8th grade, 80% of our students scored at levels 2 through 4 compared to 78% statewide. That represents a small decline from last year, but the state experienced a much larger decline, so Paulding still remains above the state. In U.S. history in high school, 55% of our students scored at levels 2 through 4, compared to 47% statewide. So while both Paulding and the state did decline by about 3 percentage points, our students continue to outperform the state by about 10 points in levels 3s and 4s, so that proficient and distinguished levels. One important context that I want to point out that you can see kind of in the wording on the bottom of the slide is that for U.S. history, students that are taking AP U.S. history or participating in dual enrollment courses can exempt the milestone assessment. So among our AP U.S. history students, 90% of those students earned a 3 or higher on the AP assessment, which is excellent. So overall, social studies remains an area of strength for our district, with our students continuing to perform above the state in those assessments. Turning to science, Paulding is again ahead of the state in 2 of our 3 tested areas, with particularly strong performance in 8th grade, where our students are 6 percentage points above the state. Science shows another positive story across elementary, middle, and high school levels, where we're either seeing improvement or stability in performance. In 5th grade science, the percentage of students performing at levels 2 through 4 increased by 2 points. In 8th grade, we saw a much stronger percentage in improvement, with 9 percentage points increase in the proficient and distinguished bands. In biology, our overall performance was essentially stable across the 3 years that you see on the slide, while the state declined by 4 points. So even though we didn't see growth in biology, maintaining our performance while the state declined was a positive outcome. I do want to highlight something that's not on the slide, and that's our students with disabilities. So that student group in biology increased 5 percentage points in levels 2 through 4, and they finished 3 points above students with disabilities statewide. So overall, the science story is growth at the elementary and middle school levels and stability in biology, and some encouraging student group performance. Additionally, we'll continue to support 5th grade, which was that group you saw that performed slightly below the state. We have a focus on standards first instruction this year and supporting our schools and teachers with that. And then utilizing a standards-based formative assessment that's aligned with milestones that'll provide teachers with support with their instruction along the way. Finally, there are 2 important pieces of information that aren't yet available to us. So this last school year was the first year of the new Georgia ELA standards and assessments. So those results require additional state-level test development activities before they can be released. So ELA scores are anticipated to be publicly released in December. CCRPI scores will follow that release of the ELA results. So today's presentation really gave us an important picture on Paulding County's performance in math, science, and social studies, but we'll have a much more complete picture of overall performance once the ELA scores and CCRPI scores are released later on this semester. In the meantime, families and community members can access school and student group level data and information through the Paulding Data Hub on our district website, and you can find that under the Find It Fast tab. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for allowing us to share these great results with you, and thank you so much for the emphasis that you place on student learning.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Myers. Outstanding results, but you know, we have high expectations for ourselves, so we're going to keep stretching our goals out, and the strategic plan will be a big part of that. So we're excited about the direction we're headed in.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Frazier. So the long-term numbers, is it when you get the rest of the information from the state, at that point, will you be able to make some assumptions about the trends, not from just the last couple of years, but we've been at this a while, and I know there's putting significant resources in some of those areas should impact them, and then there's some areas that are impacted, more than others. Even when the state trends down, we tend to, we're still higher, but we still follow, but not return of investment, but in terms of getting a bang for the buck, will you be able to, make those suggestions when the state data comes about those trends over the last 5 years and 10 years? Because that way, if there's, it's the right way to say this, if there's some need to shift resources and human capital, we can plan ahead in those areas.
Certainly. Every time the state changes the standards and creates a new assessment, the scores themselves aren't exactly comparable because they change the scaling and they change a variety of things. So those scores, we won't necessarily be able to lay one against the other because you're talking about two different measurements.
Apples to
But we
oranges.
do have lots of other consistent measurements across the board, including, our SAT scores, which have risen, our AP scores, which have risen. And so we really look at a wide variety of data to be able to make those long-range predictions, and we'll use our strategic planning process to do some of that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much. At this time, I don't believe we have any public participation, is that right? Okay, so we'll go ahead and move into the consent agenda, and I'll turn it back over to Mr. Barnett for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this evening, we are requesting approval of the consent agenda as presented on August 4th. The consent agenda tonight includes the 2026-27 school year local Board of Education training plan, the Georgia Department of Education capital outlay project application for South Paulding High School, and the award for invitation for bid 26-260630, fencing and gate installation and replacement to Hawk Fences LLC in Norcross, Georgia, and to ASAP Landscape Management Group in Decatur, Georgia. Mr. Chairman, that is the recommendation this evening on the consent agenda.
All right, and after hearing the recommendation, do I hear a motion? So moved by Ms. Collette, second by Ms. Sauer. Any discussion or questions? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, as we move into the final items, the action items this evening, there are two. The first one is the personnel report, and I request approval of the personnel report as presented this evening, including items 1 through 51.
All right, and hearing the recommendation for the personnel report, do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Clayton, second by Mr. Chester. Any discussion? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously.
And, Mr. Chairman, the last item is a recommendation to authorize the superintendent and the board chair to sign a memorandum of understanding related to information sharing between Paulding County School District, Paulding County Sheriff's Office, and the Paulding County government.
All right, and hearing that recommendation, do I hear a motion for that?
So moved.
So moved by Ms. Lyons.
Second.
Second by Mr. Clayton. Any discussion or questions? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Motion passes unanimously.
That's all I have this evening, Mr. Chairman.
All right, at this time, we'll move into board member comments, and we can start with Ms. Sauer.
I just want to say a special, how proud I am of Kelly Cook. She was one of my kids, and when I was principal at Russell, and then Tracy, her husband Ian was one of my kids too. So Russell really was producing, right?
I just want to say welcome back. The numbers of miles that we drive, plates that we serve, and things of that nature is overwhelming, but it is exciting to hear that we do it with grace and with style. And yes, we're not perfect, but the heart, you can tell, of everyone, especially our new principals here, is to serve with excellence. And I'm proud to be a board member here in this county. I'm proud of each and every one of you guys who are new principals. I know you're going to do great things. But I'm also proud of our teachers, our parapros, our bus drivers, everybody. We can't do this without every individual. And when you think about the reason why we all do that, it's those 30,000 kids. It's those little faces that walk into the classrooms every day, that come down the halls looking for us to lead and guide them. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has a part in that. And it's going to be a great year, and I'm excited to serve along with you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for y'all's presentations tonight. Congratulations to all of you. As y'all know, since Mr. Barnett's been the superintendent, there's been a lot of retirements and a lot of new faces and principals, so you guys are not allowed to retire at the same time. So, hopefully y'all are staggered out a little bit. So I just want to say, as a parent of a freshman who just started college this year, like 2 weeks ago, this is the first time that the three principals are all in the same room when I walked him in as a kindergartner at Burnt Hickory. So Mr. Chafee, Ms. Vinus, and Mr. Ford, it's good to see y'all again, 13 years later, all in the same room. So it's kind of ironic for me. So thank you all so much. I wish you all the best this year. And also thank you two for the presentation on the milestones. That's good information. It gives us, a good idea of where we are in the state, as well as what we need to do to help you guys, get funding or whatever we need to do to raise the areas that are challenging, like you mentioned in the 5th grade there. And I'd also, in the future too, I'd like to see how we compare to the metro, our neighboring counties, not necessarily the state. So if we could, maybe Mr. Barnett or Ms. Frazier get a report just on our neighbors and see how we do compared there, as well as, especially when there's a lot of shift in teacher pay and moving, from one county to another and shuffling all that. I know, you know what I'm saying back there. You're like, amen. So anyway, I'd like to see that too, but thank y'all so much. And it's good to hear an academic report, because we spend so much time as a board, over the last couple of years building buildings and doing all the crazy stuff that we've had with the growth. So thank you all so much for that.
I guess I will pull a Miss Collette tonight and just say ditto. I feel like everything I wanted to say has been said. Again, congratulations. Thank you guys for your presentations, and everyone have a great night.
Most of you know me, as a lot of you don't, but my favorite thing about being on the school board is student achievement. And seeing the presentation of data gets me more excited than how much we spend on toilet paper. Or, I get really excited about this. And I especially wanted to point out the 9th grade algebra. That was historic. I mean, that's been something that I've been concerned about all of these years. And I know at one point we took some 9th grade teachers and moved them into 8th grade, which I thought was brilliant, because it really helped prepare those 8th graders for the freshman algebra. But that excited me so much. But all the data showing how the increase in our performance with our students just gets me excited to my core. So I appreciate it. And Tiffany, you can come up here anytime you want. We will always be happy to hear. And also, to Jeff's point, that comparison data is on the state website. So you can go to that and see. Of course, they can present it for you if you want, but it's all there. And I've always followed it very meticulously. And so it's super exciting to really have a full presentation. So thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. It's always good information. It's good to know where you stand and where you're going. And congratulations to everyone starting their new endeavors. We really appreciate all the work you're doing and going to do. So we're thankful for that. And just good to have everyone back for, first quarter of the school calendar. So looking forward to big things. Two other real quick points. I know, Ms. Lyons, we discussed public participation. That's something that I know she wanted to address with you, Jeff, at a later time. So, and then on the training, local board training, I want to remind my colleagues, and this kind of ties in. I said this every time training comes up, not me, but somebody to attend some of our national school board conferences and trainings, simply because, it sets the tone, and I always said for every member of this organization, for you included, there may be a solution that's not in Paulding County, Georgia, and if someone has to go far and wide to find it, we support it. And I know at one time that wasn't always the case, but there's things you learn by talking to people around the country, and it tells you how good you are and how great you have it. And I encourage all of us to do that. And it's kind of interesting. A long time ago when I first started, one of the first conferences I attended, I think it was in Boston, and I sat with individuals from Joliet, Illinois, and they were talking about negotiating with the teachers union and the things they were going through. And I'm thinking, oh man, we don't have that issue, so I'm happy about that. And I thought, okay, that's it makes you happy when you come back home and you deal with what you do have. But the other interesting thing is, I think I shared this with some of my board members, and Superintendent Cole and I talked about this. Principals for some of the schools in Mississippi live on campus, and they're provided, housing, especially if they're, a little further away. It makes sense for the school system to, provide them a place to live. So, talking about all the kids we serve and things like that. Of course, we didn't adopt that policy in Paulding County, but, you put in a lot of hours if you live across the street. So, but you learn different things from different parts of the country, and it makes me appreciative of what you do and how you do it. So, just want to say that. So, thank you.
All right, at this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. So moved by Mr. Chester, second by Mr. Clayton. Any discussion? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. We are adjourned.